What's up, y'all? We are live on a late night Friday. What's happening, everybody? Whiskey friends far and wide. Glad to have folks joining. We got 6 folks in already, which is rad. I'm Eric, of course, your humble malt muser, and I have a couple guests with me tonight. To my left, your right, this is Phil. Phil's a good friend. Phil lives down the street. Phil's going to join us for a tasting of the Arran 18, and maybe a little bit more. What up, Phil?
Howdy.
Cheers. My brother is currently running around getting some water and things like that. So, yeah, it is a really big bandana. So we're going to get into this and start these tastings in just a couple minutes. But first, let me just say hi to the folks who have joined the chat already. First in the door, Jupiter, Florida. Mr. Gerbic says, hey, gents, joining the late night stream from Jupiter, Florida. Right on, right on. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. Northern California, Donner Pass Whiskey. He's at work, but it's a slow night. And he says he opened up the Arran 18 a couple months ago, and it's good stuff. That's fucking great to hear. Have you ever had Arran 18 before?
I have not.
Good. There's a first time for everything. Neither have I, for that matter. So we just uncorked it. We've had it sitting here resting for just a few minutes. East Texas is in the house. Daniel H. Yo, late night, never going to find bourbon stream for the win. Cheers, man. Good to see you. Donner Pass says at work for 4 more hours, but it's slow so he can watch. Right on, right on. That's fucking great to hear. New York City, Jack the Pickled Hound. What's up? Perfect timing? That's great. It's got to be a late night for you. What, 11:30 something? Good to see you, man. Thanks for swinging in, Jack. California, this time of year, I get off work 1 or 2 a.m. Right on, right on. Snow day in New York City. L.A.
Wait, snow day in New York City?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that storm that hit us in Chicago yesterday or 2 days ago is now in New York City. We have like 9 inches of snow.
Yeah, so my sister-in-law lives in New Jersey, and they got like 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, they're getting
that's an emergency?
Apparently, man. You know how it is out there. For us here in the Midwest, it's
that's weak.
Yeah, like we'll
that's
drive
weak.
to work in that shit. What up, Daniel? Cohen, Los Angeles, Southern California, saying what up? Greetings, Muser and the Malt Mongrels. Great to see you, sir. Snow day in Texas as well, says our good friend Daniel. Beaming his signal across the pond. It's James Morgan from London. Phil and all, nice night for it, indeed. Cheers from the States, brother. I am at my brother's place. Yeah, we are in the suburbs of Milwaukee right now. So good to see folks jumping in. We got 7 folks in already. James Morgan from London. Awesome to have you. And here he is right now. My other half, younger brother Evan. What's up? 3 dudes on a couch ready to sip some whiskey with y'all.
Sounds like a porn.
James Morgan, how are you? Cheers, buddy. It does sound like a porn. Yes, I am at my brother's place, Donner Pass. Cohen saying Arran was brought home in Nashville today. Yeah, I saw that.
Can I finally drink this now?
Yeah, we're going to get into it in a second. Texas got a 4/4 inch right on. All right, y'all. So we got 7 folks in already. This is great, man. Great to see everybody again. This is my brother Evan. This is our boy Phil. And we are about to embark on the just uncorked Arran 18-year-old. For those of you who are not in the know, Island single malt scotch. It's a beautiful bottle. Their new style.
It is a damn good looking bottle,
right?
Yeah.
The good thing about this, it's with scotch they can add fake color to it, which is annoying. But this is a completely natural color, non-chill filtered, as it says right there.
So tell us a little bit about this bottle.
46% alcohol by volume, which is what you really want.
Single malt.
It is a single malt, and this is aged in bourbon cask and Oloroso sherry. I know it's Oloroso sherry for sure, but let me just double check the bourbon.
Really nice color to it.
It's a beautiful color. I think the thing that's so great about it is, again, like this is a whiskey a distillery that does not add fake color into their stuff. So what you're looking at is all natural.
It's like caramely.
Yeah. When I think of scotch, oftentimes I think of like it's going to be really light colored, right?
Right.
You're not going to have like a lot of the barrel influence.
It's got more of a yellowish,
like Japanese whiskey kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, and so there's a reason for that, right? So first and foremost, a lot of Scotch whiskey is aged. Most Scotch whiskey is at least somewhat aged in ex-bourbon cask. So with American bourbon, you can only use the cask once, and then it's no longer bourbon. So Scotch whiskey distillers buy tons of barrels from different places, like Lafroig, for example, buys Maker's Mark barrels.
Yeah, because most of the extremes are absorbed up like in the first several years, and
Yep.
whereas with like Scotch,
Exactly.
it's like well after that. Doesn't
Right,
matter.
because the climate's so much different.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
like the barrels are more active here because in these states because of the climate. But so this one, yeah. So this is a
Look at that
Asian
color, man.
sherry. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful looking whiskey. Again, non-chill filtered natural color. Let us know in the chat if you have had this one before. I see that 60 Hertz is in the house. What up? Good to see you. We got 9 folks in.
I hope
Very,
you all
very
like the nice tapestry.
Yeah, we got a nice
Behind.
tapestry in the background. We are hiding from children right now, basically. There are children upstairs sleeping, and we got to be on manor mode. So,
And we're also hiding from the water system.
and the water system, yeah. So here we go. Arran 18. Let us know in the chat if you've had this before. Obviously, a lot of hype around the Arran 10 this last
I
year,
smell
but
dark fruits.
we'll go around the horn. So this is definitely aged in Oloroso sherry, like a lot of Scotch whiskeys. So
Yeah.
I'll go to you first, Evan. What are you picking up on the nose?
So on the nose, I get a lot of dark fruit. It's like like plum. Like you can tell it's like the sherry. You said it's sherry cask.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get that. You pick that up a lot in the nose for sure.
Yep.
It smells really great. Like I would love. Like the nose is awesome. You
Yeah.
nose it quite a bit. Like a lot of dark fruits. Like is what I get.
Definitely. Yeah. And the reason for that, of course, is like, so, Scotch is all malted barley. So unlike corn, which has so much sweetness, I feel like it can handle more influences in it. Phil, I know your sniffer is not in the shape that it used to be, but you noticing anything on this?
I smell nothing.
Very similar to Evan, although I can't fully articulate that, but I know it doesn't suck for sure. Like I can tell it's not. It's very appealing, and having COVID in October, I still can't smell. So, but I can tell if things are good or bad, and
Excellent. Well, I hope
I'm very much enjoying the smell of this so far, and I haven't tasted it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I did.
that's what we're about to do. I will just mention the other things on the nose
What
here
about
that
you?
I'm picking up. So definitely dried fruit on the fruit note, which definitely tells me at least that the cask that they're like had some good oxidization as you'd expect for an 18-year-old. There's a nice little salinity, kind of sharp citric note, maybe salty, and a little bit of that fresh bourbon cask kind of note, but it's in the background. This is definitely sherry forward.
Yeah.
Not like the 10 at all, but we're going to jump in and give this a taste right now. Gentlemen,
So
as they say in Scotland, slanchiva.
cilantro.
Here we go. Oh, yeah.
What's the ABV?
Very malty.
46%.
Wow.
Is it very malt? Is that malty to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very malty.
I'm definitely.
I'm surprised I could pick that out.
I feel like it drinks. It's got more bang than the proof.
I kind of agree with you on that.
Like it's almost got like
Volume.
yeah, like. But I love the way. So this is like what I love about single malt scotches. Like I love the way, like after you take a sip, and like 20, 30 seconds later, it's like the whole flavor like envelops your mouth. It's like it almost like coats your mouth. Like it's so, but it's like that dark. I like it's like this bit of plum.
It's the long kiss goodbye. It comes back up after you think you're done.
Well
tasting
said.
but not in like a negative way. Like
Oh yeah,
Like,
obviously.
thinking about like if you drink a super high proof bourbon, like 100, like hazmat, like 140 proof bourbon, like you drink that and you're like, holy shit, like it takes you back, right? And that creeps up at you and like you're like, I need water in that.
Yep. I want to give a quick shout out. Hood Sommeliers in the house. What up? How are you, man? Philly, I think. You can correct me on that. My former stomping ground for a couple of years. Good to have you in, man. Thanks for joining the chat. We got 11 folks in. Cheers from the Atlanta, Georgia suburbs. It's IC86. What up? Yeah. So to what Evan was just saying, like I'm actually a little bit surprised at how kind of fresh and assertive this is. Now it is a neck pour, but at 18 years old, it's not a mellow whiskey. But
It's
again,
got some, yeah.
it's got a little like vibrancy to it, right?
It's got a little gusto to
A
it.
little gusto.
Yeah.
I will say,
and personally, to me, like if I just got handed this in a bar and I was drinking it, I would think it was bourbon,
Really?
almost.
interesting.
Yeah. Like, so what kind of bourbon would you think it was?
Oh,
Because I feel like not that I'm disagreeing with you by any means, but like
Like,
just got,
would
like,
you be
that
surprised
fruit
if you got
forward.
handed this in the bar and you're like,
No, I would
know
know it was Scotch. Yeah, I would know it was Scotch for sure.
Well, that's
Just
where
because-
like I'm still getting over COVID.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not totally not like discounting what you're
No,
saying.
keep
but
going. Yeah, it's fine. We're all just sitting here enjoying it. So
Yeah.
say whatever you feel.
No, it has that like single malt profile, right? Like very fruit forward. Like
Yeah, I mean, but I would say like the
way
the thing about
the way it
single malts
feels,
is
though,
that
it's like it's weird.
the thing about single malts is that like what I think Scotch whiskey does in a way that other whiskeys can is really just showcases casks, right? Because it's 100% barley. Single malts are 100% malted barley.
what is the age on this?
This is 18 years.
God.
So like you end
mind-blowing.
up with a it's a more kind of neutral grain, and the casks are having a little bit more, and these are very active casks, you can tell. So as to what he was saying, I'm getting a lot more, it's much more of like a dry kind of Christmas spice red fruit, not necessarily fresh sweet, which I think of course comes from the fact that it's 18 years old. But I gotta say this, there's a nice almost salinity to this, which is weird. Like on the finish, I have a little bit of like a salted caramel thing going on, which I'm actually really quite enjoying.
I want to ask you a question, and also the folks watching too. But so, like, when it comes to age on a Scotch, does age really matter like as much as it does with bourbon? Like, because there's people out there that like everybody goes crazy for like a Pappy 23, right? But in reality, like a 23-year-old bourbon, no, like not my.
I've heard there's a big difference between Scotch like 10 to like 14. Like that's like the big change, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like it is, so like bourbon, like the 8 to 12 year window is kind of like me personally, like my wheelhouse.
I agree
of,
with you.
What is good for me, but like with Scotch, it's like this is an 18-year Scotch, and like you could just buy this theoretically like off the shelf, like whatever. But, like you can't buy an 18-year bourbon that readily.
Yeah, and folks in the chat, I would love to hear. I know we got a lot of Scotch fans in here. Like, when you go out to buy a whiskey, is the age statement one of the main things that you're looking for? And like, how do you feel about it in terms of its quote unquote quality? I would say this. So the first and foremost thing about Scotch is that it's a longer aging process because of the climate. Like bourbon can age quicker because it's warmer in Kentucky than it is in Scotland. So you're getting more cask activity into the spirit itself. So an older Scotch is a more slow burn, right? And it also depends. Is it a first fill sherry? Is it ex sherry? This is definitely ex sherry. If this was first fill sherry, it would be a lot like sweeter, fuller kind of insanity. This is a more, while active for an 18, a little bit more subtle. And so, age statements I think matter. Like you want, personally, I think
that sip was way different from the one I took before.
That's really
What are you thinking about it?
I like it a lot,
dude.
Fantastic stuff,
Bro,
right?
You being like a huge bourbon rye guy, like the thought of like trying to get into Scotch is like I can't even like wrap my head around it, because it's like it's such a wormhole, and like there's so many good Scotches, and it's like,
so that was like that sip I took was like the perfect level of sweetness. Like,
Feel free to have a little bit more if you like.
I'm solid.
Well, we're gonna drag it out just a little bit. I'm still enjoying this. We got to try this with water too.
oh, I already.
Oh yeah. Bourbon heads, y'all. Bourbon heads. No, I totally get what you're saying, and like I think what's like what you just said about how it tasted totally different in just a couple minutes.
Yep.
Age statement.
This is why we wanted to let it sit out a bit. Like the rule of thumb is like a minute in the glass, you're in the cask. So like 18 years, you sit out for 18 minutes if that's what you want to do.
That's
but like
interesting.
You're getting a lot of like. It gets more dynamic. Like I'm finding more kind of lemon lime citrus stuff going on in here, and honestly, there's a savory quality that I can't quite put my finger on.
I just don't know if like people that really like Scotch are swayed one way or the other when it comes to an age on the bottle.
I mean,
like a bourbon person would be like, oh my god, like a 12-year or 18-year bourbon, like, oh, I want to buy that, just because it's like.
I think it's the same principle though. Like I think some people in the more bourbon side of things chase older age statements with this idea that age equates quality.
Right, exactly.
And it's not true. I mean, Glenfarclas is a classic example
We're about
of
to
like
prove that wrong right here.
We are. Glenfarclas is a classic example of a like single malt Scotch that their core range stuff, I don't think age equates more quality at all. But anyways, we're gonna do a couple drops of water on these and see what else happens. I'm really enjoying this. Again, these go for about like here in the U.S., they're right around $120, $130.
Where is it Arran?
Iran.
No,
Arran.
Arran. Where is that?
Arran is on an island. It's considered an island whiskey. It's not Isla, but it's on an island off the west coast of Scotland. Yeah, you got it. It's just because of the reflection.
It's a beautiful bottle, man.
It is. They just went through a revamp. But yeah, feel free to pour yourselves a little bit more. I just put some water on it, and I can tell you right now, it's broke through a bit of that overpowering sherry note, and I'm getting all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, so like what I was saying before, like the first sip I took was, like if you just gave it to me in a bar, I would have thought it was bourbon, like not knowing anything. But that last sip I took, it was super sweet and like from what I can pick out right now, like a little bit of just a touch of smoke, not like anything.
Yeah, it's definitely
crazy.
not like
It's not a heavily
just
scotch.
enough.
Just scotch.
Yeah.
Just a tip.
And I'll tell you, even with water, it's extending that finish. Like it's a really nice finish on this. This would go great with a cigar. Like it really would.
Oh, man,
what a delicious
I
freaking
have
dram.
cigars.
Let me know in the chat if you all have had this before. I'm going to let me just catch up here really quick and say hi to folks. So yeah, Hood Sommelier is in the house. What's up, man? Great to see you. Cool stuff. If folks haven't yet, take a second, go to his channel and subscribe. He's doing really, really great whiskey stuff. I've been enjoying it quite a bit, man. So hope folks can take a second, open another window or on your phone or whatever. Give Hood Sommelier a subscribe. Cohen's saying Mission's got the lightly peated triple distilled.
He's been on this before.
Oh, yeah. Cohen's coming out from LA.
Oh, we can't pour bourbon into that.
No, feel free to have a little bit more, though.
All right.
So he's saying one thing you have to keep in mind as well is Arran has a specific profile. The location of the distillery affects the cask. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, and you know, it's one of the things about Scotland and Scotch whiskey that's so interesting is province and kind of location. Daniel's about to pour Highland Park 18. Nice.
I like Highland Park quite a bit.
Jack the Pickled Hound says age has money value. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's just it.
Saw the Torvig second batch today, only 55. Nice deal. Daniel's saying age statement is eye-catching to me. I'm interested in what I find in older age statements, but I'm more interested in ABV and how. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I love a nice kind of medium age statement.
I feel like age statements just ruin bourbon.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, that and people not having jobs that can just go and line up and play prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what we're about to drink.
Yep.
Hood Sommelier just said Scotch in the U.S. is not Tater Marker. Yeah, only the people that know go after it. Also, 18 years in Scotch is not a big deal. The type of cask strength, and master distiller matters more.
Was it 18 or 19?
I would love to just put a highlight across your comment.
Scotch
there.
in the U.S. is not a Tater
Really
market.
great point.
Only the people that goes after it. Also, 18-year Scotch is not a big deal. The type of yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, Scotch is not a Tater market at all here. Like
some of them are, but most of it is.
Bigger cities, like I think Chicago is a little bit different. Like warehouse liquors, like they have high-end people that come in and buy super high-end scotches there.
Yeah, I agree. Just a couple more comments. James Morgan from London says it's a matter of taste. I like my whiskey a bit younger, but non-chill filtering for sure.
At 12:15, yeah,
I'm with you on that.
I'm with that too.
Am I drinking Red Stripe? No, it's Coors Banquet.
My first Scotch was
Lagavulin, wasn't it?
No, 12-year Glenlivet finished sherry cask.
Sure.
Yeah. I could have sworn it was because you had a bottle of Lagavulin that we drank.
Oh, this was like what my first taste of Scotch was that.
Do you like peated, smoky scotches?
If that's the last drink of the night, that wrecks your palate, man. That's a palate wrecker.
I actually also find that these heavily sherried whiskeys wreck your palate too, but in different ways.
Let's do this.
It could be true.
All right, one second. Let me catch up on the chat. Donner Pass saying definitely an age statement snob, but I do get NAS bottlings usually upon recommendation. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
What is the snobbery of Scotch aficionados?
Non-chill filtration and natural color; those are all part of it for sure.
Does everybody hate on Macallans that are like?
I don't know.
Aficionados?
Quick poll out to folks. We got 9 folks in. Are you, if you're a Scotch drinker, do you hunt down Macallans? 60 Hertz says just pour the 18 in the sherry cask side by side. Nice. Indy, Vancouver's in the house. What's up? Arran 18 2020 is better than the 2019. Good to know. Better than the Glendrow 18.
What?
I would not say that. I don't think it's better than the Glendrow 18.
Fresh one.
Yeah, there's fresh glass over there.
You want to put this in the
Pickled Hound says I just picked up the
Gosh,
cheapest 21-year-old in Glenmorey. Nice pick. I haven't had that one yet.
Eric
Here come the
picks up
McAllen.
a lot of cheap 21-year-olds.
Oh yeah, only the best. McAllen is the only tater market in the U.S. I kind of agree. And we got a Russian in the house. Daniel, do you want to push that out?
Oh,
Coors.
Oh,
Yeah. Just 1 second. My brother's getting real excited over here. Springbank is the way to the tater.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. Molasses is in the house. What's up?
sorry.
Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah, the Russian bots. You know how it goes. I agree with you about that, about Ardbeg. And we got 12 folks in. Whiskey Nose is here. What up, man? How are you? Cool. So high marks on the, we should probably pour that and let it sit for just a minute, right?
Oh my God, smell that.
So I'm going to let my brother present on this in just a hot second, but let's get this poured. Is that your glass?
Nope. I'm that one.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Based on what you guys tasted here on the Arran 18, I got 2 bourbon guys next to me. What are your thoughts on it?
I really like it. It's got the traditional, like single malt profile that I like a lot. Like I like the sherry forward scotches. Like, it reminds me a lot of. So, I'll say this: like, it reminds me a lot of like Macallans that I've had, but it had more character to it. Like it had more like there's a different profile to it. Like oftentimes, like when I have like a Macallan 12, it's very, for lack of a better word, like generic. Like it just tastes like kind of like a generic scotch, right?
Sure.
This had a little bit more going on, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about it?
So like I said before, my first sip, I would have thought it was bourbon, just based on situation. Last sip, really enjoyed it. It was like a fruit bomb with like a little bit of smoke.
Excellent.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was my problem with scotch, like when you're at the lower proof, like it doesn't have the fullness, I guess. It's very just
like you were talking
thin
about the
and-
Glenlivet 12. Like that's a really great example of that. Yeah.
It's thin. This was very full. Like if you're drinking a bourbon straight, like a cask strength bourbon, like kind of similar, like you get that full feel, like you're drinking. Yeah, you're drinking something.
The tearing
like
chest,
Yeah, definitely.
Totally agree with you, man.
Yeah, I really like this. I'm really excited to see how this oxidizes. So high marks all around on the Arran 18. If folks get a chance to check it out, it's definitely worth it. And
where's that 13?
yeah, we're at 13. That's good.
It says 1.
No, 13.
Oh, yeah.
Arran 18 is the best Macallan, says Jack the Pickle Tom.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
That's a great comment.
Look like we just got off stage at a rock show. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. All right, so we're going to move along. I got an eager beaver over here. Before you even get into it, can you why don't you tell the good folks who are spending time with us about this whiskey that we're about to try? We're moving into bourbon territory here, which I'm excited about because this is going to be an interesting one. Take it away.
So this is a bourbon that I was very excited to try, and when my brother impromptu decided to come up to Milwaukee, I said, no better time to pop this bottle. But this is year, so 2021, Four Roses opened a new visitor center down in Kentucky, and as part of that opening, they released a 20-year OBSV. So Brent Elliott selected these barrels, and if you can't see the label, it's just kind of a
push it closer.
Yeah, commemorates the opening of the visitor center. So 20-year OBSV, tier 3, 58.9% ABV.
58.9 at 20 years.
Yeah, so really excited to try this one. And everybody goes gaga for the.
And you got this on secondary market?
I did.
Yeah, a little touch more.
So yeah, this is the color. Of course, bourbons are 100% natural color always.
And
I'm really surprised initially at the ABV on this because it's like, holy Christ, what did they barrel that at? Looking beautiful.
I love Four Roses. I think Four Roses just does.
Yeah, and this is the high rye mash bill. I mean, if you went back 5 years for you guys who are into bourbon, like you used to be able to find these picks, relatively easily. Not anymore, but
Dude, there's like literally like
here we go. 20-year Four Roses OBSV. I will let you start things off here with this.
It's interesting because like you would anticipate having like a super over oaked nose, right? And it's definitely oaky, but that being said,
It's perfect.
yeah, there's a lot more going on in there that
Yeah,
like I equate it to like, man, drinking like an Elijah Craig 23 year, which I mean the proof alone puts that bottle at not my wheelhouse, right? I think it's like a 23-year Elijah Craig's like 90 proof.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who wants to drink like you're drinking a freaking like liquidate a stave of wood and drink it. That's what
Right.
that is. So this is a little bit more going on to it.
Yeah, it
And
does.
like I just really, like you always just kind of trust Brent Elliott. Like he's just a very, very professional master distiller. Like he doesn't put out things that bourbon community wouldn't appreciate, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing that this was out in the visitor center to get your hands on. But
Yeah, well,
you can feel free to hop in and what you think, Phil, and then I'll share my thoughts, and then we'll drink this bad boy.
I think people would camp out for that.
look at the legs.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's some legs right there.
They're thick.
Juicy.
So the nose on this I'm finding interesting. The thing that, so I agree, it's very mellowed, it's very oak driven. It has, but it's not sharp or overpowering or drying. It's actually really kind of a warming gingerbread kind of thing. But I'm also getting that unmistakable kind of black cherry note, which I get a lot of
Wow.
on Four Roses. So here we go. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Man, that's like a sock you in the mouth. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? It's kind of it's got a lot going on there.
I'll tell you right now, this needs water. But neat, very hot, of course, which is a little bit lame considering it's 20 years old, but what do you expect at 50-some percent, 58%?
I'm good.
Butter toffee, like
Yeah.
the kind of quality toffee you would buy at a candy store.
This
A little
is-
bit of that Werther's Original butterscotch disc thing going on. Cherry note for sure. Oak, dark chocolate oak, cocoa powder kind of driving it. It's not as tannic and drying as I kind of
Definitely
expected
not.
it would be,
Definitely not.
which is a plus. Like there's a creaminess to that dark chocolate. You know what I mean?
This is not a child's whiskey.
Not a child's whiskey.
This is
You heard it here first, y'all.
Yeah. This is like your old man's.
It's a big boy. It's a big boy.
Exactly. Thank you, Phil. It is a big
Man.
boy fucking bourbon.
The nose on this, it's like you walked into a basement carpenter's warehouse,
Mhm.
and he's down there doing his wood
It's a working
thing
man's
or her,
whiskey.
for that
I
matter.
wish I could smell it right now.
I know. I wish you could too, but
Damn
thankfully
it.
he's got a whole bottle, so he'll be giving you one when your smell comes back.
It just reminds me of it's like it's like a blue collar working man's whiskey, right? Like it's got a ton of pop to it,
But it's a working man's whiskey, but it's a 20-year Four Roses that'll never see a shelf.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, look at that, how long it's taken for that to even drop.
Now
I will.
Now I'm going to sample the rest of my bottle off and make money off of it. I'm kidding.
I'm going to say right now, I put four drops on. I still feel like I can go lower for sure to find that sweet spot.
What is it?
A
58?
lot of, again, kind of toffee notes.
let me see that.
Toffee.
So there was I think there was 4 or 5 different.
Do you know what the
releases
retail
of
price
this.
was on this?
Really?
I mean, I don't want the secondary market price is probably obscene, but like, do you know how much they were actually charging for this bottle in the
I think it was
distillery?
220, 230.
200. Okay, we'll say 220. Would let me know in the chat. Would y'all drop 220 on a 20-year Four Roses?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you would.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
absolutely
would.
you
I would do it if I could right now.
You would do it without even knowing what it tasted like.
Didn't
To
matter.
drink, I should say to drink. That's the caveat.
Yeah.
This is
So
nice.
I actually paid less than that.
Wow, really?
Well, that was,
Well, you
Rats.
gambled on it, right?
I think I paid $140 for it. 220 easy. I'd do it. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. You'd be foolish not to.
Molasses is never.
Really? Oh.
But
yeah, no. Stop.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Molasses.
Molasses. Okay, so you would say never, but yet you likely, I don't know you, but you'd likely gladly spend $450 on a fucking black art, right?
Oh, 100%. I would buy a black art over this in a second.
Just saying.
Leo, what's up, man? Phoenix is in the house. He says I would do it once. Totally.
Yeah.
Ben Demon Hunter, Calgary area of Alberta, Canada says I would buy it to drink. Yep.
So, all right.
I got the Four Roses pick a few months ago. That was a 10-year.
Yeah.
Around
That's
80.
perfect.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
depends on the recipe, though, right? Like,
Yeah, those
OESO and OESVs, like all day long, you buy those.
those 4 Rose picks, like the 10-year mark, any recipe, whatever.
Yep. Dude, we should
$80.
I should go grab
Give it
a
to
Four
me.
Roses pick. That's an OESO or an OESV. Do it side by side. You 100% you would pick that one.
So this is what I'll say. And I'm gonna be the wet blanket here.
I'm more playing it too.
Yeah, you are. But I can dry that out for you.
My problem is your problem.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't think that the age statement on this is really bringing more to it than a lot of other Four Roses barrel picked single barrels that I've had. I also this is the mash bill that they use for a lot of their regular single barrels, which is the OBSV high rye. $220. If I was buying it to drink, I think my answer is no. But I just don't think this has more happening for it than a lot of bourbons that would be cheaper. I mean, and I'm thinking, for example, a Booker's, even at 6.5, 7 years, I feel like is just as interesting as this, if not more. It's a little louder. This is more subtle, but I'm honestly not picking up a ton of. I'm getting a lot of oak cask, but it's not over oaked, but it is dominating the palate here.
I'm going to challenge you on that. Ooh, because
Here we go.
you really can't say that, because this was a one-time release at the distillery, and if you were at the distillery, happened to be there, and you had the opportunity to buy this bottle, you would hands down not turn it down.
But only to sell. I wouldn't buy it to drink.
You wouldn't know that because you don't know what it tastes like.
I feel like okay. So this is bringing up the great
debate.
Whiskey debate thing. In my mind, and again, I'm more than willing to be proved wrong about this always. I don't think there's any bourbon that justifies over $100 that I've ever had that I think is that
I don't
good.
disagree with that.
So
But
like
I'm
this
just saying,
at 20 years, I'll tell you right now, this doesn't drink like a 20-year-old bourbon to me.
it
I think this drinks like a 12, 13-year-old
Yeah.
bourbon.
totally.
It's got a really fresh palate. The finish is not all that interesting.
But all I'm saying is, if you were there that day that they released it,
Yeah, so
you
I could
wouldn't
sell
turn
it to
down.
fucking,
know what-
somebody
you know
for like
what sucks?
$500.
You know what sucks?
bourbon.
Having a sample of M20 and not being able to drink it and enjoy it. Because I have one at home right now, and I can't drink it and enjoy it.
I will tell you, the one time I've ever had M20 was I had a sample that I shared with you on Christmas.
Yeah, same guy gave it to me, Derek.
Derek.
Yes.
It was a 2018 M20. Hands down the best bourbon I've ever had. And you also
Yeah,
thought the
that
same.
was really
You
good.
also
That
thought
was
the
really
same.
good. I think, and my brother here, just in full disclosure, like he has a ton of, all those bourbons that you want in your life, he's got them. And each Christmas we've had the opportunity, we go through the Stag, the PTAX and stuff like that. And they're all really, really good. And I'm not a hater on any of that. I will say this. I think one of the best bourbons I've ever had is the Blanton Straight from the Barrel. I think that was probably one of my favorites.
Dude, you should.
And I don't think this is even
I gotta
close
pee and-
to being as good as that. And that's weird. Not hating, just saying.
What?
Phil's got to leave us. You should say hi before you say goodbye before you leave, Phil. And it was really nice to see you, by the way.
It was very nice to see.
See y'alls. Love y'all.
Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Thanks for coming. Really good to see you. Thanks for having me, man.
100% agree with you, Cohen. 100%.
Sorry.
Four Roses does not live up to its price except as an investment. Well, I completely agree.
We got things going on.
Agree with you, Jack the Pickled
You know
Hound.
that I'm always here for you.
I agree. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I am not a big Booker's homeboy or like fanboy, but I also will say that there are some really freaking good ones. I'm not sure that they justify the price, and that's always the rub for me. I just don't feel like there's enough dynamism. Background noise. Sorry, they're coming back in a second. I think you're absolutely right. Always the best value. I completely agree. The thing about it is, I have a Knob Creek 13, I think it is, store pick that I would probably do just as much on this. What's up, bro?
I'm out.
Take care, man.
See you guys.
Be well.
Take
It's
care.
good to see you.
Okay.
And love coming in for Phil for hanging out. People sending their love, man. Thanks for hanging out. And I got we got 13 folks in the chat. My brother will be back shortly. We also have this crazy rare wild turkey that he has coming up. My brother is a big bourbon head, so I'm sure we will have more rigorous debates about bourbon versus scotch, whatever. But yeah, dude, I completely agree with you. I think they're fantastic. I don't think that you get much more out of a lot of bourbons for that price, or compared to those. I just don't. Good point, Molasses. I will say though, man, there's this graham cracker note hanging around in this Four Roses that is really, really delicious. I just wish there was a little bit more happening. As a drinker, $200 some, no. I would buy it at $200 some to sell, because unfortunately that's the reality, and I would probably buy some more Arran 18 with it. But I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying. Still have a pre-2016 discontinued night. Nice. I did a review a while back on the Knob Creek 9-year-old single barrel. I actually put something on my Instagram about it recently. Just like I grabbed a store pick that was like 10 years old or close to 10 years old from a place in Chicago. It was just fantastic. As an everyday drinker, 60% ABV, man, I don't think it's, obviously this is a rare whiskey, but I don't think 15 more years or 10 more years on this is that much better. If I was going to put a score on this, this is a 4 out of 5. It's a damn good bourbon, but man, that price, I just won't spend that much. Not on a drinker. Maybe every once in a blue moon. Here's another example. My brother got me a bottle of the Old Forester birthday bourbon for my birthday last year. I think it's way better than this. Way better. And I'll tell him that when he gets down here. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out, man. This is a weird time for me to be doing a live, but I'm glad I was able to pull this together. We're going to definitely be hanging out for a minute. Once he gets back, we're going to get into that ridiculous wild turkey. He's got some of those gold label. He's got gold label wild turkeys. He's got tons of ridiculous bourbon wild turkeys. So we're going to get into this one for sure. But man, cinnamon toast, warm kind of gingerbread. There's so much goodness happening in this. I need to have a little beer though. Buy it if you see it. Join the hype. Sell it. It's just how it is. 60 Hertz says, I picked up the second bottle of Stag Junior Batch 3 the other day. One of the benefits of living the arse end of the planet. Where are you joining us from? If you feel like just telling us your city or country, I do like to shout out folks. A lot of the folks in here, I know where they are, so I do like to shout them out. But if you're willing to share, please do. Bring out the turkey. Probably my favorite bourbon distillery. Sorry to Buffalo Chase. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I gotta wait for him to come back, but this will be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure he'll have a couple of his other ones. IC86 has got to head out, catch the replay. Cheers, man. Great to see you. Oh, okay. So 60 Hertz is joining us from New Zealand, man.
Oh, yeah, nice.
New Zealand's in the house. A lot of folks are saying Wild Turkey's their favorite distillery for bourbon. Man, the nose on this Four Roses, though, like that warm honey drizzled gingerbread thing, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
The oldest bourbon I've ever had is the Rhetoric 24, which I did a review of, which I thought was total shit. This is better than that by a mile. Oh, no, we had a Pappy 23, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did a Pappy 23. That was good, but, you know, whatever. Take good care, IC86. Great to see you. Ben Demon Hunter, what up? I hope I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, we got 13 folks in, which is rad. I should let everybody know. Yeah, for real, man. It is the People's Channel, for sure. I try to make it that as much as I can. Thanks for that, Daniel. I should let folks know, bracket 3 of the One Rye to Rule Them All tournaments dropping tomorrow. So if you haven't seen bracket 1 or 2 and you want to follow my 20 blind rye tasting challenge, the brackets 1 and 2 are posted already on the channel. You can go check those out. If you haven't subbed, would love you to. If you haven't hit thumbs up on this, love you to. Appreciate the support any way you can give it. Bracket 3 will drop tomorrow. Bracket 4 will drop Tuesday before the happy hour show. And then the finals, I'll squeeze in sometime next week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that so far. And again, I do want to send a shout out, thank you to everybody who chipped in with super chats, who joined on Patreon to help me buy all those 20 ryes. I had some of them, but I didn't have enough. And in consultation with y'all on one of the Tuesday happy hours, I was able to, we decided that we needed to expand it to 4 more. So I did get 4 more, and I do appreciate everybody chipping in to help me do that. So just want to share my love for that. Slaunch. The People's Channel, yes. Ben Demon Hunter saying, where are you? I am just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee is my hometown. My brother has a house out here. So we are hiding in his basement so as to not wake up the kids. Early ECB are the big hitters. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Daniel, thanks so much. Yeah, if you are not on Patreon, feel free. If you want to support the channel any way you can, or super chats are always cool too. But so far for the Patreons, one of the things I do, you do get early releases of all my reviews. You also get 2 or 3 times a year, I'll do sample raffles and make sure that you guys get samples of some of the stuff I've been tasting. But got a couple other things in mind too for that, so I'm looking to do what I can. Leo says, I remember that happy hour when you all pitched in. That it was a really fun night. Yeah, man, that was super cool. I really appreciate that. And we took it from 16 whiskeys to, or 16 rye whiskeys to 20. So bracket 3 will drop tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, so 2 p.m. Eastern. I think the premiere thing is up already, so you can go like it or set yourself a notification. I hope you guys enjoy that. Moving on. Excellence has been Demon Hunter. What's up, man?
Texting his wife. Hold on.
Sure. He's got to do some wifey stuff. Russell's single barrels are always good and the price is fair. No guesswork for them. Yeah, we were chatting about that a little earlier.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Cohen knows what's up.
I have so many Russell's picks.
Scotch and Mankini live stream tomorrow night. Scotch Down Under to charity. Oh, nice. Yeah, folks can check that out. Drop of Arran 18 in the sherry cast didn't really do it for me. I like them both as the way they are. Word. What's the whiskey scene like down in New Zealand? Are you able to get bottles relatively easily? Curious about that. Daniel says, no way those are the only whiskeys you've tasted tonight. Any others? Yeah, well, we started out with a Glendronach 15 Revival. So we started out with that to kind of set our palates, which was really, really delicious. Cohen says, do the turkey now so it can open up when you drink. Yeah, I agree. We should probably pour this out at least. I'm going to just go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to let my brother present it because this is his thing.
Hey, be careful. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got
the cork broke out. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you want to do here?
what are you pouring in?
The Glencairns. Do you want...
No, like not a Scotch one. Right?
No. Those are the bourbons.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
So-
I saw that.
There is not a wild turkey, dusty wild turkey on the planet that you're not going to break the cork when you open it.
I had a rare breed once that the cork broke. That was ridiculous. But all right, man. I'm gonna move over a little bit so you can get into the camera view.
Come on. I think Avery's up. Hold on. I'll be right back.
The suspense builds. We may have woke up the kids. The cork is totally broken on this. I don't know anything about this whiskey, so he's going to tell us about it. But this is what it looks like. It's called the Donut, Kentucky legend. I don't know when this was bottled. This is what the bottle looks like. It looks beautiful, right? There is not an age statement on this, as far as I can tell. It just says barrel proof bourbon whiskey, single barrel, Kentucky legend. The proof is 58.3. It's hard to tell. This was clearly a bottle that he got on secondary market. I don't know. We'll wait for him to come back to tell us a little bit more about it. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, here we go. So in New Zealand, Scotch is very well supplied in a large expat Scottish community. That's very cool. Awesome. Beginning of next week, we'll be sending you samples, 4 bottles, PX finish. Oh, some more Donner Pass samples, man. Thank you. I will look forward to that. Always appreciate that. And, for folks who might be new, like on the Tasty Tuesday happy hours, I do usually profile a bottle, and then I will get into a sample or something that somebody has found a way to get to my place. So, great. There's nothing like this I have. I have the original 17 Masters Keep about it. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't too. He was just showing me. He's got some like Wellers from the 90s and stuff. It's really ridiculous. He's got so much good bourbon. But at the end of the day, it's bourbon. Say what you want about that. It does look old, yeah. It's like an old rare breed. There's a bunch of 12-year older in it. Yeah, I'm hoping so. Anyways, I'm back on this Four Roses just to kind of finish this off. Remarkable nose. There's just nothing wrong with this bourbon. I don't know, man. I think the birthday bourbon was better. If we're talking about rare bourbons, there's nothing overly amazing about this. It's really good. Nice sweetness. The oak is mediated, which is honestly really nice. I always worry about these whiskeys being over oaked. This one is not over oaked. Elijah Craig 23 is an example, one that I did not really enjoy. It was just too oaky. The Rhetorics, specifically the 24, that was one that I thought was way too oaky. But this one's actually probably one of the better, very old bourbons that I've had. One sec, y'all. All right. He's up there dealing with some stuff, but we will get into this wild turkey soon. We got 12 folks in. What's up, y'all? What's everybody sipping on tonight? If you're joining here on this late night stream, I'm hoping you guys got something in your glasses. Get at me. Let me know what's up. I also have a Coors Banquet beer. Not very Milwaukee of me, I know, but it's better than High Life. You heard me say it. Old Turkey over Old Splitters and Weeders lack it because of Norman. I agree. I've never been a really big fan of weeded bourbon. I feel like it just makes it more flat. It's just not as dynamic. It's not as interesting. It's one of the reasons I like Scotch a lot. It just, the wheaters are very sippable. They're very sweet. I mean, I can enjoy it. It's just not something I'm like rushing out to buy really ever. Even those Larceny barrel proofs is what it is. Wow, nice. Donner Pass says, guess a thing for bourbon chasers now is old granddads? Oh my God, the bourbons, man. I really try to avoid being part of the bourbon insanity because it is really insane. But I did give in at one point in time. When I was over in Paris, I bought a bottle of the Blanton straight from the barrel, but I had to flip it because I knew I could make $120 on it because people are crazy. It just wasn't worth it. $290. I mean, I paid like $135 for it in France. I wish I could drink it, but I'm like, come on, man. I could sell this to some weird bourbon head who will pay $280 for it. I got to do it because I can buy really good scotch with that. So it just is what it is. That's why I'm like increasingly, there are the bourbons that I really like that I think are really good. Old Forester Prohibition Edition, Four Roses single barrel. They're all relatively modestly priced, easily available, and I don't think that these very rare ones are that much better than those. Just my 2 cents. I have an over-oaked corn whiskey from Heaven Hill. I got used to it. Yeah. Word. I finally cracked open the Glendronach 18 Billy Walker. Oh, man, you're in for a treat with that at Malt Muser. You and Johnny on Cobra Kai with the bottled course. Jack Lipigal says, I'm done working tomorrow. Was drinking Glenallachie 12. And cheers, man. Great to see you, Jack. Thanks for stopping in. It was like, what am I going to do with it? Even though I love it. I mean, again, it's a straight from the barrel. The regular blends I don't give a shit about. But the straight from the barrel I love, but again, it's like if I'm going to make $120 on it, what the fuck am I going to do? You get rid of that shit. I have no reason to keep it. Hey, are you joining us or what? Are you joining us or what? We got to do this turkey. You know how these people are, man. Their heads. Wolfburn Langskip. I did have a sample of that once. Very, very good. There have been 2 swillers I got this week. Yeah, I would too, in a heartbeat. There's not a chance in hell I would ever keep a Weller. Donner 2017, you said. Okay, cool. Give me just 1 second, y'all. All right.
So
I got his attention. He's gonna give us the rundown here on this wild turkey. We've had a lot of folks talking about wild turkeys.
Yeah, man,
being a favorite of theirs.
So yeah, wild turkey is an absolute favorite of mine, and mostly the Dusties, right? The 8 101s from like
take a leak.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
So the 8-year 101s from like the late 80s, early 90s are just phenomenal, right? And we're talking like bourbons that sat bottom shelf for forever. No one bought them. No one cared. Nobody cared about bourbon, which resulted in Wild Turkey doing the CGF, cheesy gold foil, right? So if anybody's had a CGF, 12-year Wild Turkey, which they put a gold, shiny, yeah, good stuff, yeah. Put a gold, shiny label on it in a gold tube. It was all marketing ploy, right? It was in a generation where bourbon was like seeing its like lowest consumption ever. Everybody was going for vodkas, and Wild Turkey was like, "Wow, maybe we'll just put our what do you normally collect?" Yeah, I will show you my collection if I can get the computer over there. But yeah, so CGF was Wild Turkey is like, well, how do we get people to drink bourbon? So we got to be gimmicky with their marketing. Like, how do we attract the eye? So they put gold tube, gold foil, like gold label, and it was just a regular 12-year offering. And it turns out that it was, and still stands up to be, one of the best Wild Turkeys you'll ever have. And to me, and I've said this to Eric before, I've shared CGF with him in the past, and
Oh yes.
to me, it's like the absolute perfect bourbon, like in all facets of like what you want bourbon to be. 101 proof, totally balanced, delicate flavor. I mean, it's just a perfect bourbon. And it was crazy because like at that time, it bottom
Should
shelf.
we do a comparison?
Yeah, I don't have much CGF left.
All right.
But no, we can.
Daniel has a question for you.
Yeah, I just saw that. I said I would show him the collection if I could get the computer over there. But anyway, so another Wild Turkey kind of phenomenon that I was infatuated with, because I'm super infatuated with old Wild Turkeys, was the donut, which you see right here.
The donut.
Yeah, plain and simple. I mean, it's nothing fancy about the juice that's in there, other than the fact that Wild Turkey bottled it in this kind of ornate donut-looking bottle, which came with a really cool.
You don't see
box.
bourbons in boxes very often.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. So somebody had mentioned earlier that like it's kind of similar to like a rare breed. Like maybe this is like this is evolved from
precursor.
Do you know what year like this likely came from?
So this is probably early 90s.
Early 90s.
They don't tell you. So they give you like this kind of super vague like barrel number and like where it came from and proof.
Yeah.
But they don't give you a whole lot else. But if you do your research on Wild Turkey, it was a single barrel offering, and it was likely in the like 90 to 94 time frame, I think, is when the donuts were produced.
Shit.
But I mean, God, if you can strike while the iron's hot, and the iron was hot probably like a year ago, because they've appreciated in value, but like the 8-year 101s, Daniel says it's 98 or earlier, and that's right. Yeah.
Just grab a couple of these comments here before we get into it. 101 proof was basically cast strength for turkey back in the day because it went through the barrel at 105 proof, says
Correct.
Cohen.
Yeah.
Donuts also cast strength. It's 98 or earlier, says Daniel.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So
Looks like a bottle of cognac. Yeah, it really does.
It
really
does.
does. Ben Demon says this before I was a teenager. Yeah. So Cohen says at Mount Muser, those are after Rare Breed. Rare Breed came in 91. I think those came out in the mid-90s. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's probably right. And,
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about these bottles, like, dude, like, feel that. Like,
Yeah,
that's like,
I mean, it's like a damn gold coin
like
glued on there.
Yeah. They didn't spare on the
God, can you imagine though, like how much those cost back in like 1993? You probably could have grabbed those for like $45.
Like I said before, the 8-year 101s from late 80s, early 90s sat on the bottom shelf for $8 in those days, and now they go for north of 400, right? Depending on the year. And they're some of the best whiskeys ever. I mean, like, because again, not to give the educational speech, but like at the time, bourbon was such a like nobody wanted it. It was not like you couldn't market it. It was right when vodka was coming out. People were putting flavored vodkas.
Mm-hmm.
And my story about CGF before was like a way for Wild Turkey to like attractively market their products, right? So at the time, they were putting out incredible bourbon and nobody wanted it. So it just sat. And that's why there's like an abundance of it now, like on the secondary market, because it's come back and everybody's realizing like, holy shit, like this is good stuff. because back then, like it's the same with Blanton's. Like when Blanton's when they first started Blanton's, 85 was the first year, but all the late 80s, early 90s Blanton's, they're phenomenal because it wasn't mass produced. It wasn't sought after. Nobody really
They
cared.
had better casks. I mean, they were using better casks. It's like, and I don't know if this is true objectively, but my intuition says like as bourbon gets more and more appealing to folks, what's happening is like they're using less and less good casks because they need to produce it to sell it.
Yeah.
So you lose quality.
Yep, exactly. And like nowadays, like if you drink, like we could go over there and drink a Blanton's from this year or last year, 21,
Right.
and then drink a Blanton's from like 92, and like the difference between that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to think about, but it's like they just cared more back then because they weren't trying.
It wasn't all driven by money.
Right. It wasn't.
And you see this with Scotch to some degree because like, yeah, Scotch, there's not the Scotch boom the way the bourbon boom here in the US. But the thing about Scotch is like you've increasingly like seen more and more non-age statement whiskeys come out. I mean, this is definitely the case with Japanese whiskey. Like all those Japanese age statement whiskeys, like good luck finding those for a reasonable price.
Oh God.
So it's just part of the market stuff. And, so you're left with increasingly less and less good cask maturations, et cetera. And, this is what you end up with. But
you know what the funny thing is about Buffalo Trace and blends? Hey, let's try this.
Well, I'm going to nose it first.
Oh, man. You get the dusty funk right away. Just the funk of dusty. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a certain thing about old wild turkeys. The funk is
You want to know?
indistinguishable.
Yeah, you want to know something really interesting about this? What I usually get in wild turkey products, and this includes the Russell's Lime, is an unmistakable cotton candy, state fair caramel corn cherry note.
Yeah.
I am not getting that very much on here, which to me is like, maybe that's a more recent thing. Like it's a little bit, the cherries are a little bit, but that is an overpowering thing on a lot of the newer stuff. And this has a very similar nose to the Four Roses that we did. It's got that kind of warm gingerbread, honey drizzled thing, but there's a little bit more dynamism to this.
It smells like it's sat in a closet.
Yeah.
For like 20 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
got like that old like mothball kind of like I'm not saying it smells like mothballs, but like I'm equating it to like when you smell mothballs, like that distinction, right? Like old.
And while it's not as like overpowering for Scotch heads out there, it's like when you get something that's been aged in a dunnage warehouse with the earthen floors, like a Ben Romick, or I mean, much more even like a Springbank, where like it has that unmistakable kind of Provence note, that earthy tone, like that's coming through in this.
This is predominantly a Scotch audience, right?
I don't know. Let me know in the chat if are you a bourbon, Scotch, rye, or Irish, whatever person? If you had to pick one regional style, type in the chat. We're gonna drink in this. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
Here we go. Oh man.
Yeah, it's so good. So fucking good.
Wow. So I will say immediately, compared to the Four Roses, this is more drinkable neat.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a little lesser proof too.
But it is so much fuller mouth coating. Caramel,
What is it? 109?
brown sugar.
Yeah, those are like the
Did you get a little bit of mint, like spearmint?
Yeah. Absolutely. 116.
Like a freshness? Like there's like a freshness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's
That like is weird.
It's so weird to say freshness.
No, I know what you mean. It's like sprightly. It's like lively for something that's got a nose that smells like it was sitting in the corner of your garage for 20 years. Wow.
So I wanted a donut so bad I chased it for so long. I finally worked out a deal to get one. And when I had it, it didn't live up to like all the hype around CGF. Like I wanted a CGF so bad. And when I finally got one, I was like, I drank it and it lived up to every single hype of that bottle.
Yeah, I remember when we tasted that. That was
Phenomenal. I think the one I have is it's
you should grab the
89
bottle
or-
and show folks. We don't have to drink it, but you should at least show folks. Because
Well,
there are some people who probably don't know what he's talking about here.
Well, there's another one too, actually, that later.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing I'll say about this compared to like its modern equivalent, which is probably the rare breed. It's just so much richer and deeper flavor. I do love the rare breed. I think it's one of the better values for barrel strength. But this is much darker notes, not crazy darker, but like at least 2 or 3 steps.
So this is actually like a
Here it is.
super interesting comparison, right? So I used to have, I had a very nice tube with this bottle, but a flood in my basement ruined it. And here you go. Here's the Wild Turkey, cork. But this is a 96 or 95 Wild Turkey 12 year, right? So if you think about it in contrast to the CGF, which is also the 12-year offering, and like, so they call this like the faux split label. And you'll see a Wild Turkey split label 12-year, which basically is this, but there's 2 different labels that are split like right in the middle. And those were like early generation 90s 12-year. Then, so basically it was an evolution of this bottle, which again, what I talked about before, the CGF.
Yep,
So
there it is.
Late 80s, early 90s, Wild Turkey's like, nobody's drinking bourbon. How do we get people to drink bourbon? They don't want this flashy vodka shit. So
Looks like something Donald Trump would have created. Let's just like put gold all over it.
Yep.
Except this is actually tasty.
Oh yeah. And again, right? Gold label.
Wow,
And
yeah.
wait.
Oh,
Broken
look.
cork.
Another fucking busted ass cork.
You never get a cork out of a dusty turkey, or blends for that matter. But this is, I gotta see the bottom. This is a 91. And this to me is like the most perfect bourbon. And you can certainly have some.
Yeah, why don't we do a little comparison? Just like a small taster comparison to this. So, I mean, again, as I was saying, I was talking to them about like the difference that I noticed between the contemporary rare breed. Like this is just the cask seems more active. It's more caramely. It's richer.
Yeah.
It's less of that. Again, what I was saying, the cotton candy note, which I do like, but there's less of that going on here.
So it's like anything, man. Like the mass production of any product typically ruins the quality, right?
It's
the most perfect bourbon.
This blows that. The nose on this blows that out of the door immediately.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
The amount of complexity and sweetness coming through in this is just remarkable. Remarkable.
I'm gonna catch up on that. Chat.
Oh yeah, let's catch up on the chat.
Do I have to click?
Yeah, you can just click left click.
This one?
Yeah. That'll bring it on, bring it off.
Cohen says older trees for casks and dumping old ages. It sounds like my morning ritual in the blend make richer bourbons. Yeah, totally, man. Ben says a few people in California like Cohen have said that
they're talking about Shelter Point, which is a Canadian whiskey. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A little side chat. Donner Pass has got a comment here too.
Funny, used to drink Turkey 101 in there. Yeah, dude. And you didn't even realize what you had, right? I mean, that's the fascinating thing about it all to me, and like why I'm such a fan of Dusty's, and like I collect a lot of Dusty blends as well, a myriad of blends from.
It's true, he does.
Late 80s, early 90s, and I was born in 85, and first year they produced blends was 85, and I've been wanting.
It was a sign from God.
I know.
You are,
but I've
meant to be the blends.
But I've yet to obtain a bottle of 85 blends because they're very hard to come by.
If anybody's going to find
them,
them,
they're very expensive.
And then you can just double click on that comment again to make them drop when you're ready. Just ask Eric Malmuser about his. Yes. Oh yeah, I have a ton of great samples from Quig about those. Right. So we got 14 folks in.
91
CGF. 91 CGF. We're comparing it to the Donut Wild Turkey,
which we don't know what the year is.
I will tell you off the bat, this is one of the best bourbon noses I've ever smelled. Sweet, honey, light gingerbread, cookies, sugar cookies.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, dude, You can't get better than that.
Mm. Mm.
Cheers, James Morgan.
James Morgan from London.
Oh, London.
Oh yeah.
Hey, James Morgan, if you're in London, hook it up on the Blanton's LMDW.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I would say that this Wild Turkey 12 can rival some of the BTAC stuff that we've had.
Oh, yeah.
It's so creamy, and the subtleties all are in balance. It's remarkable. This is the kind of bourbon where, like, I feel like if you ever met anybody that is a total hater on bourbon for any reason, this is the one that you would pour them to change their mind, or at least make them think twice. And this is, yeah. So once again, this is the bottle. This is 1991.
Sorry, I'm being rude on my phone.
No, it's okay. Do what you got to do.
So actually, Eric,
So
I have a new Wild Turkey that actually is going to be delivered tomorrow that I'm super excited about.
Again,
Which
it doesn't have, one sec. Yeah, it doesn't have the, so for folks who are friends of the channel, and by the way, if you are, we got 15 folks on, please do smash that thumbs
70s
up.
Old Crow. Yeah, baby.
Smash that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, would love you to. I will say this. I love bourbon. I really enjoy bourbon at specific times, especially. The majority of my channel is kind of like single malt scotch, but I'm not a hater. This, what I was saying earlier about I wouldn't pay
Debatable.
over $100 for a bourbon to drink. I don't think there is a bourbon to drink that's worth it. This is an exception. This I would pay over $100 for.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can't buy it for over.
Well, I know that, and that's the problem.
So I'll show the channel this, but
Yeah.
also 15-year Wild Turkey American Spirit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to see it, but definitely show the picture. A little, there you go. There you go. Hold it right there. What is that again?
This is a Wild Turkey 15-year American Spirit. So, which will be, according to UPS, be delivered tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. I'm a bit of a Wild Turkey fanatic, and
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
On the secondary market, what does a bottle like this go for on secondary market? Of this
a
12
91 CGF.
Yeah.
1,300.
1,300. Okay, it is not worth 1,300 to drink.
Well, dude, nothing
But-
is. I mean, come on.
That I might disagree with. I'll say right now, unequivocally, this is in the top 10 whiskeys I've ever had.
Yeah, 100%.
And probably one of the best bourbon, if not the best bourbon I've ever had. I would put this neck and neck with the Blanton straight from the barrel in terms of like the best bourbons I've had. And I've had 20-year-old Michters, which I think is all overrated. I've had Stag, BTACs. I've had Pappy. Like I would drink this over a Pappy 15 any day.
Yeah. So when you're talking about Pappies, the Pappy 15 is easily the best of the bunch,
Mhm.
right?
I agree.
but nowhere near worth its name.
Price. Yeah.
Because the name drives the value, right?
Right.
But what I would tell you is,
I'm going back to the donut here just as a contrast.
Yeah.
But continue. Keep talking.
yeah. So I really like the CGF. I think it's fantastic. And quite honestly, like, if I'm going to drink bourbon, I would pay the price of admission for that. I really would.
$1,300.
It's weird for me because I've been in it for
It's
so
not
long.
weird.
So I
Just say it.
yeah. I mean, so like that American Spirit I just showed you, I traded old Rip Van Winkle 10-year for that
Oh, okay.
Wild Turkey
Okay.
15-year. Only because the fact that like I know what Old Rip is, a 10-year wheated bourbon,
Mm-hmm.
and for a $900 valuation, no chance in hell I would open that. Right? I would
Yeah.
trade that for that Wild Turkey 15-year all fucking day, all day.
It
And
brings up a really good question.
yeah,
So a lot of the times when we chat about bourbon on the channel, and I will say that this is a position that I hold, is that I find generally that like the weeded bourbons, which are the most sought after in terms of the secondary market, the bourbon boom, all of this, like you're talking about the Wellers, the fucking Larceny barrel proofs, the, you know, so on and so forth. Blanton's isn't weeded, but you know, like
W.L. Weller.
Yeah, like my general feeling on it has always been they're very nice, sweet sippers, but they don't have much in the way of a complexity that I feel like even this turkey has by having a little bit of variety.
No, it's not
And
even
yet
close.
you have all of these people hyping over it.
Yeah.
What do you, as somebody who's like more in the bourbon kind of realm, like what do you think is driving that?
So what's driving that is an influx of people, people that don't know much about whiskey getting into whiskey, right? Like they're getting into bourbon because it's the thing. It's fashionable. It's like, it's the hype. Like their friends do it, whatever. And as soon as like the moment you get into bourbon, the first thing that you hear is Pappy Van Winkle, right? It's the coveted thing, and Blanton's. Pappy Van Winkle is like, oh my God, if you have a Pappy Van Winkle, like you are held different standard, right? But in reality, for like the people that have been around for a while, like you, me, people that know what they're talking about with bourbon, it's not even a close comparison of like the quality for the value, right? Like for Lot B, like Van Winkle.
I remember when we had that. I remember when
Special
we
Reserve Lot B, 12-year weeded bourbon. Like, dude, it's garbage. Like a Weller 12 is just as good, if not better, right? But it takes people so long to figure that out, right? And it's all these people like the noobs coming in, and you know, I'm sorry if you're a noob to whiskey, and I'm not trying to create you.
No, I mean the point of the channel is to like share these types of things, and
yeah, but
you know,
the fact is, man, like God, if you bought anything Van Winkle outside of the rye, the Van Winkle Family Reserve 13-year rye, that is a fantastic fucking bottle, and I would, if you had a chance to buy it at retail, I would not sell it. But anything like the 15 is what you want, right? So if you had a 10, like Rip 10 or Lot B, fucking sell those. If you have a 20 or 23, absolutely sell those. Don't even bother opening the 23. Like that's just asinine. Like you do, unless you have fuck you money where it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you have that, then more power to you. Then keep it, open it, drink it, and like try to appreciate it. But not worth the price of admission at all, guys. Like the fact that like you could sell a Rip 10, an old Rip Van Winkle 10, the fucking standard 10-year weeded whiskey for nowadays $1,000, and then buy something like this for the same price, where it's so much better, so much like you're gonna get more out of it, and it's a status thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so let me pick up on that and build off what you're saying. Like that makes sense to me, right? I mean, it's just interesting what is immediately the driver here. Like, what was it? Just like media attention? Like, I don't understand, because at the end of the day, my general feeling has always been that the majority of people who are chasing these pappies are doing it because they're just trying to make money.
Yeah.
Because
Cash grab.
If they drank it, they wouldn't really know what they were drinking anyways.
Yeah. So think about it this way.
And so it's like a self-perpetuating system.
Yeah.
You know?
Think about it this way. So people that want to game a system to make money in any form or fashion will find the way to do it.
Right.
And as soon as bourbon became a thing, these kinds of people who don't even drink whiskey or appreciate whiskey or anything, you know, they're lining up at the stores overnight just to get the allocation to sell it to make money, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, more power to them in the sense, right? Like, I don't honestly, like, guys, I know you're watching, like, whoever's watching this, like, I can't like emphasize enough about like how much bullshit there is with whiskey and bourbon. It's an immense amount of bullshit, and just try not to get wrapped up in it, because it doesn't, like, the Van Winkles, the B-Tax, it's all good, right? Like if you can buy it and you get, you have a local shop that does a lottery and you're able to buy a bottle of GTS for $85, whatever.
Right.
Yeehaw, that's great. Do that all day. But absolutely do not buy those bottles for secondary values, because there's so much good stuff out there that's equivalent, if not better, that won't break your bank. And I mean, it's just stupid. And I know that
it's chasing
hard.
and it's chasing a dragon that honestly I think has limitations just because of the nature of the spirit itself. I mean, and this is maybe where you and I would disagree a little bit, but like my general feeling is I love a good, I mean, this wild turkey that we have right here, this is unreal. Like this is an unbelievable bourbon.
Yeah, but
And
there's a
I
reason
love-
I opened that. And I don't open the lot, like the 3 lot
Right.
B's I have over there,
Right.
because I'm gonna fucking sell them because it's stupid, and I'm never gonna get
Yeah.
an appreciation out of that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation, and there are at somewhat lower levels, there are Scotch whiskeys that this happens with. Macallan is an example. Macallan 18s these days are selling for upwards of $300, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
A lot of the committee release Ardbegs, people chase because of their name and the hype and all this.
I'm catching up in this.
Yeah. And how many? Yeah, we got 13 folks in.
Sounds like Van Winkle is to bourbon what Johnny Walker's to. Yes, absolutely.
Except you can get Johnny Walker at the store.
Ben, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man. I can't emphasize it enough, guys. Like, as much as you like, hey, I did it too. Like, you want it. Like, like you want it in your collection. It's a thing. And all the Pappy Van Winkle 15s, which honestly, on the whole Van Winkle lineup, the 15s absolutely the best. The Van Winkle 15s that I've had, I've opened with this fucking guy, and we've drank them all.
Yeah.
And it's
When we did the bourbon tour, and then we had that rye, we had the Van Winkle rye at a bar.
So
That was,
good.
I think, the best that I had out of all of them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then I would give you the Smooth Ambler 12-year single barrel rye. And
Damn by the dram. What's up, man?
It's all about how
Yo.
many you can get on Instagram. Yeah.
By the way, like my Instagram post, you will not. You can follow me, Malt Muser Whiskey on Instagram. I don't have a single Pappy.
Bourbon is insane now.
I kid.
Hope they keep chasing the tater bait. Don't get into Scotch. You know,
Donner Pass, you're real talk, man.
Donner, man, like that's the thing, man. Like, God, I'm such a bourbon guy, but it just terrifies me to get into Scotch because I can't. Yeah. Hey, Frederick. Hey, James.
Oh, Frederick's in the house. What's up, Frederick?
Hey, God. I can't read that because I'm drunk. But,
Good morning.
Oh,
He's
good
saying
morning.
let me
Oh, is
scroll,
it-
let me
is
just
it-
scroll
is it
back
morning
just a
right
second,
now?
because I think if Frederick's in the house, that means are we talking
Is it
whiskey
morning?
pilgrims over in Sweden? It is, and I think it's Frederick from Sweden.
What's the time change? Man, I was just with somebody.
He's like 9 hours. Oh, I thought maybe it was. Anyways, what up, Frederick? How's it going?
I was with somebody on.
Jack the Pickle Hound's got a
question.
question.
All right, Jack. What do you
Lay
got?
it on us.
Lay it on us, man.
At Ben Demon Hunter. Hey, what's up, man? It's great to see you.
Who had the question? Jack.
Bourbon
Wait.
typically has a peak and not worth spending $100 on.
Yeah.
Lots of diminishing return after 100. Says Cohen. Nail on the head.
Yeah, man.
I would underline everything he just said there.
You know, and if I wasn't such a pussy, I would sell all my bourbon.
6 a.m. over breakfast dram time for James Morgan over in London.
Yes.
Word, homie.
We're gonna be having breakfast drams over here, too. What is this? The Blue Run for.
So he's in Canada.
Yeah, Blue Run. Yeah, man. I've heard great things about Blue Run.
Yeah.
Blue Run is the master distiller, formerly MGP guy.
Oh, really?
I think so. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Whoever just said something about Blue Run.
Dude, just
Just
poured
poured
the Springbank Batch 22. Got it for retail.
Hey,
I got a riff on Springbank 12 for a second here.
Yeah.
The price is
who
going
said something
up.
about Blue Run though?
That was Ben Demon Hunter.
Yeah, Ben, master distiller at Blue Run. I thought it was the old master distiller Fort Roses who did.
Blue Run?
No, he did Cream of Kentucky. Former
Oh, sure.
Jack's. No, not Jack.
I know who you're talking about.
Rutledge.
Is that who it was?
Bill Rutledge.
Okay. That makes sense.
Jim Rutledge. That's who it was.
Jim Rutledge.
So Jim Rutledge left. He was the former master distiller for Roses. Left, rebranded the Cream of Kentucky thing.
Mhm. Can you click on that one?
Yeah, but
I got to give a shout
I
out. So
also
this
want
is
Ben to
Dan
come
by
from
the
that.
Dram. He is joining us from Sweden. I have got samples before. He's the former Whiskey Pilgrim. He has the Dram Divided channel. Go check that out. What up, Frederick?
yes,
Love you,
he
man.
said right, master distiller. Yes.
Dude,
Dude, wait.
go back up a little bit.
It's 6 a.m. in fucking Europe right now.
Yeah, they're 7 hours ahead of us in many places. 8 hours. In
And
some.
they're still drinking. It's fucking
Some.
awesome.
James Morgan is because he's a freaking badass.
I love that.
Let me riff on this for a second.
Yeah.
While the price is unfortunately going up, especially on spring banks here in the U.S., I'll say unequivocally, even though they change the batches each year, so batches vary. I think that's probably a good thing. I wish they were more transparent on the bottle about what it is. Springbank 12 cask strength is one of the best whiskeys you can buy, period. Easily $150. Unfortunately, that's kind of where it's heading. I would still buy it at that price. It's that good. No doubt about it.
What is it?
Springbank 12 cask strength.
Oh, I got some Springbank.
You have some Springbank?
I do.
Let's nightcap with a dram of Springbank.
I gotta put all this away first.
Yeah, we'll nightcap the stream with a dram of Springbank.
Yeah, let's wrap that gavel up, B.
Bring it back around. Ah, yes, Cuban B. Cohen says malts have diminished return after about 300. I think that's mostly right. There may be a couple exceptions, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure there are many, is what I would say. Pickled Hound says 169 Long Road 10, same ABV as a Loch Lomond 15 wine finish. Yeah. Okay, well then we'll nightcap with that. Bring it over. Not really a Russell's hater. I'm just not blown away by Russell's. Yeah. Okay, so he's bringing out a Russell's to nightcap with. That is all the Russell's. Beautiful bottle, the Triconal Madeira.
Yeah. 2002 Russells.
Here we go. All right, is it going to be better than this Dusty 12? Is it going to be better than the
I
other
think
one?
it's,
Let's check it out.
and I love how it opens too, like from the side.
Oh yeah, man, they definitely make you feel special for owning it.
Too. And look at how gorgeous the bottle is.
Oh shit!
I mean,
Here we go.
dude, I just like it's like
Oh, look at that color.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about this. This is going to be our last dram.
yeah. So this is a 2012 or 2002. I'm sorry, Russell's that was barreled in 2018. So 16-year, part of the kind of the Russell's limited release. Comes in an absolutely awesome box made of staves.
Stave box, y'all.
Yeah, Eddie Russell, Jimmy Russell pick. So they've done a few of
Fucking hell.
these, and I think the 98 was the first one. So every 4 years they've done it.
My banquet beer is still cold somehow, yo.
Yeah,
It's been chilled by the Rockies.
banquets.
That's like-
Banquets.
All right, here we go. This is going to be our closer tonight. Again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. We've had some incredible wild turkey products. That is no doubt.
Yeah, we got
Do smash that thumbs up if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, although I see most of y'all are some of the malt mongrels, as Cohen would say. Cheers for hanging out. The people's what did Daniel say? The people's channel. Appreciate that.
It's all about how many likes you can get. Yeah. Well,
Not
sorry,
for me,
sorry,
man.
Sorry,
Not for me. I'll never be like that.
Sorry, we're not drinking Pappy. We won't get likes here.
And I won't. That is my promise to everybody on this channel. No matter how many people subscribe, I'm never going to become corporatized or like
Yes,
one of these clickbait motherfuckers.
Delicious wild turkey products.
We will drink delicious wild
Oh,
turkey,
look at
and we
that.
won't even tell them we did it. 16 years old, wild turkey. What's the ABV on this?
The ABV,
Oh,
my
hell.
friend. Oh, hell. It is. Oh, my gosh.
And it's non-chill
114 proof.
Holy shnikes.
Yep. It's going to be good. Cheers. Salute
Dude, that nose.
to everybody across the country.
Around the world. We got Sweden in the house. We have India in the house. We got New Zealand in the house.
For those of you waking up to delicious
Yo.
drams, we salute you.
Okay.
Yes.
The nose is very similar to that 12, but you know what? This is better on the palate.
It's so good.
This actually is better than that gold 12. You know why?
Ooh.
Higher ABV.
Ooh.
It's got another dynamic feature to it. It's got an herbaceousness on the back end.
It's got 115 or 15 more proof.
And it has a little bit more spice and a little bit more juiciness, which I actually really like. That's really good.
Peace, y'all.
It's dinner time Saturday night here in New Zealand. Cheers.
Dinner time.
All right, y'all. We had discussed going 8 hours, but I'll be completely honest, that's not going to happen.
No.
I
I don't want to smoke a cigarette.
had a really good time. You have a good time?
I had a
Hanging
great
out with
time.
the folks?
Great time. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate all the folks watching the show, all the support. I will remind folks before you leave, tomorrow, bracket 3 of the One Rye to Rule Them All 20 Blind Rye Challenge will drop 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't seen bracket 1 or 2, they are posted on my channel. There's also a playlist for blind tastings. Check that out. 3 will drop tomorrow. 4 is Tuesday, and then the finals will come. I'm really excited to share that. And again, I want to thank everybody who supported the show on Patreon, who sent super chats to expand the amount of ryes I got to taste for that. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And with these bunny ears, I am going to raise this incredible glass of old dusty Russells and wish you all very well. Stay safe, be well, wear a mask, don't get COVID. Much love. I'll see you all Tasty Tuesday live.
See you guys.
Cheers.